that notion of genius is so far away. It's simply an anathema to their cause, or what they were created for. They were simply made sealed divisions, enriching labor is the last thing on their minds. Victims and elites is how they roll down over the hills of progress. Dominating all internalized expressions as being self-indulgent, grubby, and far from their charity projects which they master and play out with such great skill to make humans more banal via technology and sugared human fat. That is what a driver races against in these times, without even realizing it. A driver carries on with such internalized damage going on under his feet that only death can be a relief to some. I hereby say, if it can be released as a word, it can be deceased as a troubling factor. Bricky, driver, poet, artist, politician, cake maker, all must implement into their act of work some open sprouts of potential, nurturing any bombastic talents they may have, or else die from a deficiency of soul confidence, lest they be attached to falsifying meanings in that great swim into the abyss of overly opened eyes, behind ashen techno skin. This is a skin game virus out of a story, has always been guided by overly plausible strict regimes, ugly facades, starved of wisdom, or an overly fattened face full of meaninglessness, full of meaningless, exaggerated openness, weasel-like, filled by self-conception, riding as beings who trigger seeded life for their need of continual self-deception, which has been pointing towards their personal hells by sheer belligerent degradation of life itself. These are the figures that have made the modern highway to hell. I am on it, and willing myself to transcend it. Perhaps soul damage like this can affect only being with perceiving souls. Are we all undergoing these false faked attempts to end ourselves on earth? Well, there never was a we or. We were using bespeckled souls seeking fallen minds, heading to oblivions via their orifices, striking piercing chunks of metal, while seeking refuge in illicit passages that emit sacrificial ritualization, hiding in a cloak of fading minerals. I sit and I drive many shapes, many forms. On these seats filled by electric memories, I caught a 10-year gap, like a fisherman with an undying hangover. I so will to egg on condensing time from out of trite, negated, split images that form narcissistic propaganda. I pounded romance and it beat out of me as if it were stray bovine in my veins. I carried a snake drum to whip asunder those unpleasant tangos swaying overly westernized Nazi dream catchers, gyrating their falsifying eternities. I continued on using bricked up networks that face me as I set my heart against the indifference of their bonding gods. And for what? For keeping on with depersonalized senses, bah! Only good people stare into grey skies and grin on wilting labourers' seats sunk into obscurity. In the midst, I have driven through the night of worlds where flayed souls sing of redemption. Modesty. So many qualities, Deutschland. Today was revelation, church. I faced the mischievous imp in myself. Acknowledged it, saw it, denounced it. The world is my will and representation.